Ladies and gentlemen, this is called the shuffle. The shuffle is a drill technique used to quickly get oneself aligned and covered off into their position.
Steady! Mark, come forward a shade. Mark. Steady. Stand still. The right half, front rank. Stand still. Rank. Marker, just forward a shade. Steady. Just back. Steady. Stand still. The right half, center rank. Marker, just forward a shade. Steady. Stand still. The left half, center rank. Marker, just forward the shade. Second man, just forward the shade. Steady! Stand still! The right half, rear rank. Stand still! The left half, rear rank. Parade! Eyes! Front!
Standard is stand easy.
Having dressed the parade and ordered them to stand easy, the parade regimental sergeant major, Master Chief Petty Officer 1 Groucho, now awaits the arrival of the parade adjutant.
The parade adjutant is Captain Nicholas Beaumont. Captain Beaumont has 14 years of military service. He enlisted in the Jamaica Defense Force in 2007 and received his initial officer's training at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, UK.
Sir, parade is formed up in open order with bayonet fixed, not your disposal. Sir.
Having handed over the parade to the parade adjutant, the parade regimental sergeant major, regulating Master Chief Petty Officer Stephen Groucho, now takes up his position at the center rear of the parade.
Parade! Standard! Ace! Stand! Easy!
The parade adjutant, Captain Nicholas Beaumont, now prepares to hand over the parade to the parade second in command.
The parade second in command is Major Danelia Crawford. Major Crawford hails from the parish of St. Thomas and enlisted in the Jamaica Defense Force on July 4th, 2005. She has 16 years of service and is currently the training major for the Jamaica National Reserve. She received her initial officer's training at the Officer Candidate School, Fort Benning, Georgia.
Parade! Parade! Turn! Ma'am, parade formed up in open order with bayonets fixed at your disposal, ma'am.
Having handed over the parade to the parade second in command, the parade adjutant, Captain Nicholas Beaumont, now marches to his position on the far left of the parade. The parade second in command, Major Danelia Crawford, now prepares to fall in the officers.
Officers, to your guards. By the center. Slow march. Officers, right, dress.
Dress back, Commander, 2nd Division. Orient. Orient. Dress back. Stand still. Officers! Steady!
Officers, standard is. Parade. Stand easy.
Having fell in the officers, the parade second in command, Major Danelia Crawford, now prepares to hand over to the parade commander.
The parade commander is Lieutenant Colonel Michael Anglin. Lieutenant Colonel Anglin is also the Assistant Inspector General in charge of investigations. Lieutenant Colonel Anglin enlisted in the Jamaica Defense Force on the 10th of November 1981 and commenced his service in the 1st Battalion, the Jamaica Regiment. With almost 40 years of service in the JDF, Lieutenant Colonel Anglin is currently the longest-serving member of the JDF and the first quartermaster commissioned officer to be given the responsibility of commanding a major parade, more so an Armed Forces Day parade.
Sir, parade is formed up in open order with bayonets fixed, awaiting your disposal. Sir.
Having handed over to the parade commander, the parade second in command, Major Denelia Crawford, now marches to her position on the far right of the parade. The parade commander now prepares to march on the colors. The colors were previously fell in 15 paces in the rear of the parade under the command of their respective ensigns, awaiting the command to get on parade. Ladies and gentlemen, be reminded you'll be required to stand for the marching on of the colors.
Guards! Shoulder! Up! March on the colors!
Please stand.
Guards! Present! Arms!
Color party. By the center. Quick march. Color escorts. Present. Arms.
Guards! Shoulder! Arms!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated.
Guards! Order! Arms! Point! Stand down! Eyes! Stand easy!
Let me share with you a brief history of the colors whilst we wait. In battlefields of old, regiments would form lines and advance towards the enemy, literally shoulder to shoulder. Perhaps the greatest motivation during driving scared men into imminent danger was the companionship of their comrades about them. It was this bond that epitomized the regiment and still does today. Regiments need a powerful visual symbol with which confused soldiers could readily identify on the battlefield. It was to this that troops would rally, and it was behind this symbol that the line would advance. The color is the official ceremonial flag of a military unit, originally of an infantry unit only. And in this context, it is sometimes used in the plural when referring only to a single flag.
The Queen's color is the senior of the two. It is carried on parade only when a guard is mounted over a member of the royal family, His Excellency the Governor General and Commander-in-Chief, and for visiting heads of state. It is only trooped for members of the royal family, His Excellency the Governor General and Commander-in-Chief, and on occasion of ceremonial parades, if the commanding officer so desires. In the regiment, each battalion carries two colors, which together are called stands. These are large flags, usually 36 inches by 45 inches, and mounted on a pike, which is 8 feet 7.5 inches in length. The Queen's color is a replica of the Jamaican national flag, often trimmed with gold fabric and with the regiment's insignia placed in the center.
Now, the regimental color is a flag of a single color, usually of the regiment or unit, again, often trimmed with gold, and with the insignia of the regiment in the center. The regiment's colors personify the unit's ethos, and although they are just sheets of embroidered silk, once consecrated, they have come to be venerated and treated with reverence. Normal compliments are paid to colors when marching on or off parade by all troops. On parade, the colors will always be carried by a junior officer, an ensign, escorted by armed senior non-commissioned officers. Even when encased in their protective leather casings, they are marched under armed escorts. Colors were last carried in battle by Her Majesty's forces in the Boer War.
Today, on parade, the Queen's colors of the Jamaica Regiment are being carried by Second Lieutenant Ray Maria Campbell and Second Lieutenant Javon Morrison, whilst the regimental colors are being carried by Second Lieutenant Matthew Dawkins and Second Lieutenant Chanel Richards. The color party comprises Warrant Officer Class 2 Carty A, Staff Sergeant Mullings M, Sergeant Davidson K, and Sergeant Walters T. The second color party comprises Warrant Officer Class 2 Bird C, Staff Sergeant Lawrence G, Sergeant Dunstan A, and Sergeant Fletcher R. For the Jamaica National Reserve, Lieutenant Deniki Knight carries the Queen's colors, whilst Second Lieutenant Johnny Giwa Agbamirelli carries the regimental colors. The remainder of the color party comprises Warrant Officer Class 2 Jackson L, Staff Sergeant Harris C, Sergeant Bourne O, and Sergeant Sewell C. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be a good enough time to tell you that during the parade, when the colors pass by you, you are required to stand.
Now, there are a total of 264 men and women and 19 officers of the JDF drawn from all 5 brigades on parade this morning for this Armed Forces Day.
The number 1 guard is furnished by the Jamaica Regiment. The number 1 guard commander is Major Anthony Lysite. The subaltern of the number 1 guard is Captain Michelle Brown. The right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Edwards P, and the left guide is Staff Sergeant Reed J.
The number 2 guard is furnished by the Maritime Air Cyber Command. Number 2 guard commander is Major Gladstone Allen. Second in command of number 2 guard is Lieutenant Senior Grade Omar Kova. The right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Fagan D. And the left guide is Petty Officer Drummond Thomas A.
The number 3 guard is furnished by the Support Brigade. Number 3 guard commander is Major Andre Dennis. The subaltern of the guard is Second Lieutenant Dwight Thompson. The right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Green C, and the left guide is Staff Sergeant Bartley R.
The number 4 guard is furnished by the Caribbean Military Academy. The number 4 guard commander is Major Jennifer McKenzie. The subaltern of number 4 guard is Lieutenant Chelsea Montague. Right guide is Staff Sergeant Dawes D. Left guide is Sergeant Lawson S.
And the number 5 guard is furnished by the Jamaica National Reserve. The guard commander is Captain Osmar Fiddler. The subaltern of the guard is Second Lieutenant Ranford Merchant. The right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Cole K. And the left guide is Staff Sergeant Everett M.
The keepers of the grounds are provided by the Caribbean Military Academy. And now, the first official arrival.
The first official arrival will be that of the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Rocky Meade and Mrs. Meade. Lieutenant General Meade is the 11th senior officer to lead the JDF and the first to have been promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General. Ladies and gentlemen, it is customary that you stand on the arrival of the Chief of Defense Staff.
Parade! Parade! Shoot!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Rocky Meade and Mrs. Meade have arrived. Please stand. Lieutenant General Meade will be met by the Acting Inspector General, Lieutenant Colonel Damian Crary. He'll be escorted to the saluting dais, where he will receive a sword salute from the parade commander.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. You may have noticed that as the CDS steps from his vehicle, his identifying standard was broken out and can be seen flying from the left outermost flagpole.
Parade! Standard! Ice! Stand easy!
Now back to the Keepers of the Ground. The Keepers of the Ground are provided by the Caribbean Military Academy and are under the instructions of the Commander of the Keepers of the Ground, Warrant Officer Class 2, Cohen R., and he is assisted by Sergeant Miller C. and Sergeant Griffiths J.
The second official arrival will be that of the Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Again, you'll be required to stand on the arrival of the Prime Minister.
Parade! Parade! Shoot! Guards! Shoulder! Arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, The Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, has arrived. Please stand.
The Prime Minister will be met by the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Rocky Meade, and escorted to the saluting dais, where he will receive a general salute from the parade. Please remain standing for the general salute.
Guards! General salute! Present! Oops! Guards! Shoulder! Arms! Guards! Order! Arms! Point! Stand down! Eyes!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be
Stand
seated.
easy.
You may have also noticed that as the Prime Minister alighted his vehicle, his identifying standard was also broken out and can be seen flying from the left innermost flagpole.
The third official arrival will be that of Their Excellencies, the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen and Lady Allen. Again, you'll be required to stand on the arrival of Their Excellencies.
Point! Parade! Turn! Guards! Shoulder! Arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Governor General, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen. Please stand.
The Governor General will be met by the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Meade, and escorted to the saluting dais, where he will receive a royal salute from the parade. Please be reminded you'll be required to remain standing for the royal salute. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated.
Guards! Order! Out!
The parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Anglin, will now approach the saluting dais, pay the required compliments, and invite His Excellency, the Governor General, to inspect the parade.
Your Excellency, the parade comprising the brigades of the JDF is formed up in open order with bayonet fixed, awaiting your inspection. Sir.
You may have noticed again that as His Excellency, the Governor General, alighted his vehicle, his identifying standard was also broken out and can be seen flying from the inner right flagpole.
And now the inspection. The ceremonial Land Rover will be brought around for the inspection. Here it is. The Governor General will review the parade from the vehicle and will be accompanied on the inspection by Lieutenant General Meade, the Chief of Defense Staff, and Lieutenant Colonel Michael Anglin, the parade commander. Major Dwayne Hill, the aide-de-camp to His Excellency the Governor General, will be seated in the front of the vehicle.
The ceremonial Land Rover is being driven by Sergeant Harrison A. of the Support and Services Battalion Transport Unit of the Support Brigade. The Land Rover will first travel northerly, then make a right U-turn down the front of the 5 guards and up the rear, making sure the Governor General gets a good view of the men, women, and assets presented for inspection today.
This shiny Land Rover 3 JDF 28 is now in its 59th year of service, having been taken on the inventory of the JDF on the 28th of February 1962. It was first used on the occasion of the visit of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in that same year. 59 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, and since then, the odometer reading on this beautiful machine is a whopping 2,298 kilometers. Yes, you heard right. A whopping 2,298 kilometers in 59 years. It means the vehicle travels an average distance of 38.9 kilometers per year. That's about the distance from halfway tree in Kingston to Yallow Square in St. Thomas. Yes, I know. If you're a car collector, you're probably now thinking, this would be a nice price to add to your collection. But I have been instructed to tell you, the answer is no. This Land Rover is not for sale.
The inspection tunes, Lignum Vitae, being played by the band, is composed by Major Retired, the late J.B. Williams, and the Coconut Tree Medley by the late Warrant Officer Class 2, Denzel Clark. Parade stands against a backdrop depicting the true spirit of the Jamaica Defense Force and of this Armed Forces Day parade. In the backdrop are assets of the JDF, including trucks and buses used for troop transport, 2 protected mobility vehicles, or PMVs. These are armored personnel carrying vehicles and came into the JDF in June of 2015 to replace the older V150 models. 2 CAT front-end loader tractors used for all earth-moving purposes. Ambulances, 2 25-ton Mack trucks, 2 Hilux pickups, 2 Land Cruiser Patrol vehicles, 2 Bell 206 helicopters. The Bell 249 helicopter has been removed from the backdrop currently, but were brought in to replace the Bell 412 EP and the Bell 407, which were previously considered the workhorses of the JDF Air Wing and the Jamaica Defense Force at large. The Bell 429 is now the main operational helicopter used by the Jamaica Defense Force. 2 37-foot Boston Whaler. The Boston Whaler is one of the JDF Coast Guard's inshore patrol vessels, or IPVs, and as you may well be aware, the JDF commissioned its newest ship, HMJS Nanny of the Maroons, exactly 1 year ago today, Wednesday, July 29th, 2020. Meaning, ladies and gentlemen, the Jamaica Defense Force will get there by whatever means necessary, be it land, sea, or air.
Having completed the inspection, His Excellency, the Governor-General, will return to the saluting days, where the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Anglin, will request permission to carry on with the remainder of the parade. His Excellency, the Governor-General, will view the march past from the saluting days.
Your Excellency, may I have your permission to carry on with the remainder of the parade, sir? Guards! In close order! Inward! Yes! will march past in slow and quick time. Move to the right in threes. Right! Turn! Back! March!
So there they go, ladies and gentlemen, marching past in slow time, 65 paces to the minute, 19 officers and 264 men and women of the JDF as they make the first wheel upright and proud, the tune Globe and Laurel, composed by V. Dunn, being played by the masked bands and drums of the JDF. And as they advance and get closer to your position in the B stands, let me remind you that you are to stand as the colors pass by you. They approach the saluting days, led by the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Anglin, followed by the parade second in command, Major Danelia Crawford, then the commander of the number 1 guard, Major Anthony Lysight, leading the number 1 division of the Jamaica Regiment. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, the officers in the front, as they get the eyes right and give the salute, that flourish with the swords. Let me remind you that as the colors pass by you, you are meant to stand. As the number 1 guard passes the saluting days, they're followed by the color party of the 1st Battalion and the 2nd Battalion representing the Jamaica Regiment. The colors being guarded by armed CNCOs. The number 1 division is followed closely by the parade drill sergeant W02 Jacqueline Dawson. As the Jamaica Regiment makes way for the Maritime Air and Cyber Command. Number 3 Division commanded by Major Gladstone Allen from the JDF Air Wing. The members of the Air Wing in their signature light blue beret. The other division of the MAC commanded by Lieutenant Senior Grade Omar Cover. Members of the JDF Coast Guard in their immaculate whites, traditional sailor's uniform. The number 3 Guards Division, commanded by Major Andre Dennis. Behind the number 5 Division, ladies and gentlemen, is the Parade Regimental Sergeant Major, Master Chief Petty Officer 1 Stephen Groucher. The number 6 Division is being led by 2nd Lieutenant Dwight Thompson. Approaching the saluting days now, ladies and gentlemen, is the number 4 Guard from the Caribbean Military Academy, the number 7 Division being led by Major Jennifer McKenzie. Then the number 8 Division being led by Lieutenant Chelsea Montague. By the Jamaica National Reserve, the number 9 Division being led by Captain Osmar Fiddler. The number 9 Division is followed by the Color Party of the Jamaica National Reserve. The band plays by land and sea, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome the number 10 Division commanded by 2nd Lieutenant Ranford Merchant. And to his left, the Parade Adjutant, Captain Nicholas Beaumont. 5 guards representing the 5 brigades of the Jamaica Defense Force in slow time. By land and sea being played by the band and drums, composed by K. Alford, 65 paces to the minute, as they make their way up the straightaway, ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for the break into quick time.
into quick time. Quick march.
So there they go again, ladies and gentlemen, this time in quick time, stepping out, stepping sharp, arms swinging from front to rear, as far back as physically possible, chest up, neck bracing against the collar, stepping with much pride and panache, marching at a regulation rate at 120 paces to the minute. And if you look closely at the arm swing as the body of troops marches, you will realize that there is precision and composure. And this ties into the confidence and ultimately the strong sense of discipline that all soldiers must possess. And as they advance, the band plays the tune, the swing march, arranged and composed by Henry Mancini. The swing march has become the soldiers' tune. The soldiers and the sailors of the JDF has adopted this tune as their own, ladies and gentlemen. They say whenever they're on parade marching and the tune is being played by the band, the tune has the ability to lift the spirit and makes you want to put a little pep in your step. You're reminded that as the colors pass by you, you are required to stand. And as they approach the saluting days for the second time, led by the Jamaica Regiment, the tune changes. The band now plays the Jamaica Regiment March, arranged and composed by W.O.1 Paul Johnson of the Jamaica Military Band. As the Jamaica Regiment makes way for the Maritime Air Cyber Command, the tune has been changed. LAS, ladies and gentlemen, Land, Air, Sea, is the march of the Maritime Air Cyber Command. Also composed by W.O.1 Johnson. The MAC makes way for the Support Brigade. The band changed its tune to the Support Brigade March. This march also arranged by W.O.1 Johnson of the Jamaica Military Band. The Support Brigade makes way for the Caribbean Military Academy. The band changes its tune. The tune of the CMA is being played. This tune is arranged by W.O.1 Sean Hurd. The CMA now makes way for the Jamaica National Reserve. The JNR March, ladies and gentlemen, arranged by W.O.1 Gregory Nicholson, bandmaster of the Jamaica Regiment Band. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 5 guards in quick time as they head up the backstretch. band again, ladies and gentlemen, picks up the tune, the swing march, and you can see the pep in the step of the troops as they prepare for the halt. The swing march has a catchy beat, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, if you're feeling the rhythm in your bones, there is absolutely nothing wrong in tapping your feet to the beat of the music.
The parade is now halted. It'll be dressed and realigned for the medal presentation aspect of these Armed Forces Day celebrations. At this point, may I invite His Excellency the Governor General to his seat whilst we prepare for the medal presentations.
Guards will advance. Left, front. Guards, order. Oops. In open order. Inwards! Yes! Steady!
Just for the chain of the fourth man. Just for the chain of the fourth man. Steady! Stand still! The right half front red! Just for the shade, second man. Third man, just for the shade. Steady! Stand still! The left half front red! Stand still! The right half center red! Just look to the third man. Steady. Stand still! The left half center red! Just forward and support brigade. Just forward and friend, steady. Stand still! The right half re-rack! Just for the shade, third man. Steady, just back. Just back on shade. Steady. Stand still! The left half re-rack! Burn! Eyes! Front!
Point! Stand up! Eyes! Stand easy!
Ladies and gentlemen, Because of the wide span of the parade, and in an effort to minimize the time spent on the awards, the medal recipients are being marshaled and positioned in the center of the parade to be presented with their medals. Approximately 1,044 members of the Jamaica Defense Force were published for the Medal of Honor for General Service for various operations conducted between the 1st of January 2018 and the 31st of December 2019. These medals were with the effect from the 23rd of May 2021. Of that figure, 125 were females.
For today, Armed Forces Day 2021, 140 medals will be presented to the junior ranks by His Excellency the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, and the Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Other presentations will be made by the Chief of Defense Staff beginning tomorrow. Today's presentation is mainly in honor of the junior ranks. The first 70 medals will be presented by His Excellency the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen. And thereafter, the second set of 70 medals will be presented by the Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. There will also be a special presentation of citations by the Chief of Defense Staff after the medal presentations.
Medal citation. The Defense Board has given approval for the following service members of the Jamaica Defense Force to be awarded the Medal of Honor for General Service. The medal and clasp may be awarded in other areas under the following conditions.
Service in a local theater of operations for 90 days or more, not necessarily continuous, while on the posted or attached strength of any regular unit or formation in that area.
Service of 90 days or more afloat, meaning on a Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard ship, not necessarily continuous, or a total of number of 7 maritime deployments, or a number of maritime deployments as determined by the Chief of Defense Staff, depending on sphere of operation, not necessarily continuous, in a local theater in support of operations.
A total number of 7 flights or a number of flights as determined by the Chief of Defense Staff, depending on sphere of operation, not necessarily continuous, in a local theater in support of operations.
If the qualifying service described above is brought to an end before the completion of the prescribed days on account of death or evacuation owing to wounds or other disability due to service, the reduced period of service will be sufficient qualification for the award. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now invite the Governor General, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, forward for the presentation of the first set of medals.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the Governor General, Sir Patrick Linton Allen, acting in accordance with the provisions of the relevant regulations made under Section 7 of the National Honours and Awards Act, is pleased to present the Medal of Honor for General Service to the following members of the Jamaica Defense Force with effect from the 23rd of May 2020.
Lance Corporal Blake R. Private Webley J. Private Broomfield D. Private Rousseau R. Private Campbell O. Private Freeborn R. Lance Corporal McIntyre T. Private Fitton M. Private Wilson P.
Private Walker R. Private Bailey N. Private Harris M. Lance Corporal Jones J. Lance Corporal Gunter C. Private Logan K. Private Durant W. Lance Corporal Bennett B. Private Coley R. Corporal Morgan R.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to thank His Excellency the Governor General, Sir Patrick Allen, for presenting the first set of medals and kindly invite him to his seat whilst we make preparations for the second set of medals. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite the Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, to present the second set of medals. Private Daly G. Private Watson J. Lance Corporal Bigby B. Private Tucker T. Private Pardo G. Private Bowen D. Private Brown A. Lance Corporal Parchment S. Private Butler E. Lance Corporal Gordon S. Private Hall J. Private Buchanan D. Private Clark M. Private Billings O. Private Bet N. Lance Corporal Armstrong J.
Private Burnett L. Private Thomas I. Private Cassie K. Lance Corporal Weeze T. Corporal Witter B. Private Grant J. Corporal Richards A. Lance Corporal Robinson L. Private Pennant A. A.B. Hunter L. O.S. Campbell C. O.S. Randall S. O.S. Southern P. O.S. Lindo I. O.S. Chambers M. A.B. Wilson N.
Corporal Fairweather D. Corporal Davis S. Corporal Clark C. O.S. Litchmore S. O.S. Henry A. O.S. Bucknor A. O.S. Bailey S. O.S. P. O.S. Edwards A. A.B. Campbell X. A.B. Dawkins, J. Private Bingham, S. Lance Corporal Nelson, O. Private Ennis, C. Private Johnson, M. Private Buchanan, C.
Private Murray, O. Lance Corporal Mackenzie, B. Sapper McClarty, S. Private Green, D. Private Farquharson, S. Private Barrett, M. Private Blake, T. Private Roof, R. Private DeGale, T. Private Fowler, S. Private Gardner, J. Private Douglas, I. Private Dakers, A. Private Foster, S. Private Green, J. Lance Corporal Robinson, J.
Lance Corporal Thompson, R. Corporal Stewart, G. Lance Corporal Robinson, A. Corporal Mendez, A. Corporal Masters, D. Corporal Headley, Corporal Frew, O. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the medal presentation. I would like to thank the Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, and invite him to his seat whilst we make preparations for the special presentation by the Chief of Defense Staff. Citation. To be a member of the Jamaica Defense Force is to understand the value of service. In the words of Douglas Adams, English author, to give real service, you must add something that cannot be bought or measured with money. It is noteworthy that the commitment and professionalism with which you served the Jamaica Defense Force and the government and the people of Jamaica has been replicated in the high level of service you have maintained since the end of your military career. You continue to give valuable service by demonstrating care and compassion for the lives of others and also by honoring the core values of the Jamaica Defense Force. Your actions demonstrate that the lessons learned as a serving member of the Jamaica Defense Force have long life value. Patriotism, duty, and honor do not depart from a true military man or woman at the end of their tour of duty, instead manifested in different ways and in different fora. You continue to serve as an example of the various ways in which ex-service members of the Jamaica Defense Force can continue to make a difference. The men and women of the Jamaica Defense Force, both serving and retired, are proud to honor you for your continued service to your fellow ex-service members, to this noble organization, and to our beloved country. We salute you as a member of the profession of arms and a patriot, and hereby award you the Chief of Defense Staff Commendation Certificate of Commendation. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would like to invite the Chief of Defense Staff forward to present the awards. For 21 years of dedicated service to the Curfew Home, ex-JDF 12486, Warrant Officer Class 2, Erwin C. For consistent and significant service to the JDF and the Jamaica Legion, ex-JDF Sergeant Williams P. For consistent service to ex-service persons since 1986 through charity and benevolent work via Curfew Home, via social media and ex-service associations, ex-JDF 50037, Corporal Thomas I.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the special presentations. I'd like to thank the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Meade, and he now takes his seat whilst the parade makes way for the band display by the massed bands of the JDF and the Corps of Drums of the Jamaica Regiment.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the massed bands and corps of drums of the Jamaica Defense Force with a featured piece entitled Yard Vibes, arranged by W01 Paul Johnson, bandmaster of the Jamaica Military Band, and conducted by the Director of Music of the JDF, Lieutenant Raphael Salazar. Please welcome them as they perform Derek Morgan's Forward March! Jamaica Defense Force, ladies and gentlemen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as the parade prepares to advance in review order, I'd like to again invite His Excellency, the Governor General, to the saluting dais for the Royal Salute. Please be reminded you'll be required to start.
Guards will advance in review order by the center. Quick march. Guards, Royal salute. Reset.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you remain standing for the fly past by the JDF Air Wing. You should have already had your cameras out and at the ready, because if you look up and to the south, you should see 5 aircraft approaching in a 5-ship echelon right formation. The formation is being led by 4 Bell 505 helicopters. The mission commander is Major Jamie Walsh, flying Ship 1, and his second in command, Balola. Aircraft 2 is being flown by Captain Javon Hudson, and his second in command is Lieutenant John McCoy. Aircraft 3 is being flown by Captain Miguel Ross, and his second in command is Captain Cleveland. Aircraft 4 is commanded by Lieutenant Rajesh Brown, and his second in command is Lieutenant Jason Gordon. And finally, covering the rear is Aircraft 5, the Bell 429. The Bell 429 is being flown by Captain Denver Ennis, and his second in command is Captain Cody Ware. 5-ship echelon right formation, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for the JDF Air Wing, ladies and gentlemen, as they continue to fly for all. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now you may be seated.
Wait! Stand up! Please!
I ask that you remain in your seats
Easy!
so as to allow our dignitaries to depart. First, His Excellency the Governor General, Sir Patrick Allen, as his vehicle rolls around to the pickup point. As the Governor General enters his vehicle and departs, notice, ladies and gentlemen, that his identifying standard is slowly being lowered and will be folded, signifying that he's no longer present here on these parade grounds. And so the vehicle for the Prime Minister and Minister of Defense, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, rolls around into position. Notice as the Prime Minister departs, ladies and gentlemen, his identifying standard is also lowered and will be folded, signifying that he's no longer present here on the parade grounds. Then we will have the vehicle for the Chief of Defense Staff rolling into position. And as the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Meade and Mrs. Meade enters the vehicle and departs the ground, his identifying standard is also lowered and will be folded, signifying that he's no longer present here on these parade grounds. And now the parade commander will proceed to march off the colors, followed by the falling out of the officers. Again, you'll be reminded to stand for the marching off of the colors.
Parade! Parade! Shoot! Guards! Shoulders!
Please stand.
March off the colors!
Sir!
Guards! Present! Arms!
Color party. By the center. Quick march. Change direction right. Right form.
Guards! Shoulders! Arms!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated.
Guards! Order! Arms! Wait! Stand up! Eyes! Fall out the officers! First up!
Sir! And alright! Done! May I have your permission to carry on, sir? And in close order! Inwards! Just!
Steady! Stand still! The right off! Stand still! The left off! Parade! Eyes! Front!
The guards will now be marched back to their form-up point under the command of the Parade Regimental Sergeant Major, Master Chief Petty Officer 1, Groucher, where he will conduct dismissal procedures.
Shoulder! Arms! Move to the right in trees! Right! Turn! Body left! Quick march!
The tune of the Swing March, once again composed by and played by the massed band and drums, as the 5 guards representing the 5 brigades make their way back to the form-up point.
How about another round of applause for the armed forces of Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen?
And I'd like to thank, assisting us in the announcer's booth, Warrant Officer Class 2 Gregory Gottsmore, Corporal Jeffrey Dess, and Lance Corporal Roger Miller. Thank you so very much for the support for this Armed Forces Day Parade. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes Armed Forces Day 2021. However, we continue to be Jamaica's defense force, leading the way into Vision 2030. We remain committed to do our part in changing Jamaica, influencing the region, and impacting the world.
Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Rocky Meade, I would like to thank you very much for coming and sharing in our Armed Forces Day celebrations. Sincerely hoped you enjoyed the parade. We're indeed very grateful for your presence. Enjoy the rest of the day. Be safe. Continue to observe the COVID-19 protocols as good citizens of Jamaica, land we love. Do not forget the raffle draw for service members will take place in another hour. Ladies and gentlemen, you still have time to ensure that your tickets make it into the drum. In fact, you still have time to purchase a few more tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, you may win a 2018 Honda Fit enough to handle any road in Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, thank you and good morning.